Thanks a lot for our faculty and academic community who is joining us today. My name is Amintas. I'm responsible for what we call academic relations for Microsoft throughout Middle East and Africa. And it's great to have you here with us today. And I'd like to really thank you for all the support that you have been given for Microsoft and for our associates, and it's really, really important that you are around. Today, we have some interesting topics to discuss. I think maybe it's a good idea, before we jump into the discussions, I'd like to tell you a little bit about what we do here in MEA in terms of academic play, and also let you know about some of the perspectives that we have already. So as I mentioned before, my role is basically to help faculty and students throughout the region to get access and knowledge about all Microsoft new technologies and platforms. To do that, faculty is one of our biggest partners, because at the end of the day, you know a lot about concepts and fundamentals in terms of computer science. And we definitely need your support to open the doors for Microsoft and also for the students to have them having access to all this kind of technologies. We run a couple of important initiatives here in the Middle East and Africa, programs that start from providing free software access to our students up to competitions like Imagine Cup and some other initiatives that we do throughout the region. One important thing to highlight to you is what we call Academic Support Center. This program has started here in the Middle East and Africa. This is something specially developed for our community. And I'm very happy to see the number of people who is joining this call today and how successful this kind of initiative has been going through. In a nutshell, the faculty throughout the region to have access to our technologies, and as you are going to see today, you can learn more about what we have been doing, and later on, if you think it's a good idea, you can start adopting it inside of a class, and please do count on us to support on anything that you need. Well, today we have a very exciting agenda. We are going to have a kickoff coming from Eben Cover, which is our Development Platform Group Director. We'll have Isan Sharman, who is going to be representing Elias Tabet, our Public Sector General Manager. We'll have Amar Al-Atiyat, our Education Solutions Manager, who will be talking about Office 365. And last but not least, we are going to have Daron Yoden, which is Identity Minds MEA Operations Senior Director, who is going to be talking about something that is very important and very new, which is software development for Windows 8, which is Microsoft's new operating system that should be on the market very soon. So, having said that, again, I would like to thank you for attending this call, and I'll open the stage for Eben to say some words.
Yeah, thank you, Amitas. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, okay. So thank you again. Again, first of all, for all on the call, you know, one of the areas I've always admired is the faculty department. I mean, the amount of students who owe their successes to your sacrifices and dedication is just incredible. So a big thank you from my up to these kind of responsibilities and helping us shape this. As Aminta said, these calls are really to help you do engage better and sort of transform the education in each of your markets. And so I'd first ask all of you to continue giving the feedback to us and saying, you know, what is the kind of training, what is the kind of resources should we be providing faculty, professors better in order for you to engage. So again, thank you very much. And very briefly, I'd like to just sort of let you know on our direction from a developer perspective, what we are trying to achieve as a team. As you know that this is an incredibly new year and an exciting year for us as a company, because 3 of our biggest platforms, or the newest platforms that we have launched, are going to land in the Middle East and Africa region this year. So Windows 8, I hope all of you have had a chance to go down to the web and download the release preview candidate and played with the Windows 8 software that we have released. It's a completely a new concept in terms of bringing the concept of touch and security and the concept of the Windows Store, which is a great opportunity for students and any other developer to monetize and capitalize on the reach that the Windows platform today provides. So we are all very excited about the Windows 8 platform that are coming. So I urge you all to go and try the platform. And then you know that we have a cloud platform, Windows Azure, that is also going to be landing sometime in this part of the world. And again, this allows a new way to kind of build applications and then distribute them on a dynamic level across the various markets. I hope you also had a chance to see the launch of the new wave of the Windows Azure that we just announced a few days ago. If not, you should go to the Windows Azure website and take a look at the live videos that we have posted there, because again, there is a lot of new features, especially on the infrastructure as a service, that we announced with the Windows Azure platform. And last but not the least, our partnership with Nokia and the team, we have come out with the Windows Phone, and we're working hard on getting that into this part of the world as well. So all these 3 platforms, the important thing is, which I'd like you to take away, is the fact that it works across one set of code base that you kind of learn on through the Visual Studio product set. So this means once you kind of understand how to open Visual Studios and write your projects, pretty much that knowledge can scale across these 3 platforms, and so you could quickly write applications that are touch enabled at the same time using cloud as a backend service. So it's a new wave of ideas and opportunities for developers, and I would urge you all to, as faculty leaders, to start playing around. We have ways to get you access to these platforms, so please work with your various teams on how that is going to be possible. And these are the new wave of things that the future generation of students would be interested on, given the monetization. So my real ask in this call is, we'd like to understand from you on how we can help you better land apps and its associated technologies within your curriculum, and help you succeed in your current role. So with that, I know there's a lot of exciting tracks today that you are waiting to listen, most likely the technical ones. So again, thank you for the opportunity. And again, Amintas has led these efforts of building this forum for all of you to collaborate and share, and I hope that you find it useful. So thank you, Amintas, and thank you for the team.
Thank you, Eben. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Eben. So I think now, Isan, please, the stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Eben and Amintas. This is very exciting times for Microsoft. Quick introduction. My name is Assam Shahwan. I'm the head of education for Middle East and Africa for Microsoft. We're talking to our most valuable audience today. You guys, are the core of our education system, and you're the go-to people that we like to collaborate with and to show you what we have coming down the pipe. It's very important that I'm not going to spend too much time, but I'm going to give you a rough or quick view on what Microsoft does in education. Basically, we have a holistic view on education. We have programs that actually go all the way from K-12 till people go find jobs. So, we focus on impact on economies. We focus on getting people ready in order to face the challenges of the 21st century, the class of the future, etc., etc. So, with the new products that are being launched this year, I believe that we have a great chance to empower you guys to, make it happen for everybody. So, without longer ado, thank you everybody for attending, and Amintas, back to you. Thank you.
Okay, so thanks a lot, San. And now I think it's about time to start with our first presentation. I think we start with Office 365 in education, and then Daron is going to close the event. Is that okay, Ruba?
Yeah, okay. I mean, just before this, I just wanted to say for all attendees that people who didn't send us their info, personal name and the country they live in, on MEA-ASC@Microsoft.com, please do it right now, because we are going to make a raffle, as all of you know. We are going to make a raffle by the end of this session. So please, who didn't send us their info, please make it right now. Thank you, Amintas.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. And can you see my slides?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you, Amintas. Let me start by introducing myself to everyone. My name is Ammar Latiyat. I'm the Education Solutions Manager working for Microsoft Middle East and Africa. And in my hopefully coming 20 to 25 minutes, and I will kindly ask Ruba to watch the time for me. I will be presenting to you Office 365 for education. Office 365 for education, this is our cloud offering for academia, Microsoft Cloud offering, public cloud. And before we go deeper in describing this program, I would like to quickly set the stage and share with you what are the trends driving the future of productivity. Because I think we can, most of us would agree that the main objective of driving and introducing those technology and solutions is to definitely increase and enhance our productivity, efficiency, and driving more effective solutions. So the pillars that you're seeing now are what are driving the trends that we are seeing from the enterprise world. So this is mainly coming from the commercial world, and then we will make the analogy to the education. So we are seeing what's the industry or is referred to as the consumerization of IT. We are seeing the trend around the multi-generational team. We are seeing also a lot of challenges around the infrastructure and the limitations there. So a lot of is happening around those pillars. Okay, and let me move this slide forward just to enable you to see what's the definitions about each one of them. So with consumerization, I think people are now going to offices and to workplaces, and they are asking to bring along their devices. They are asking their IT departments to enable for them the software they are used to and the most comfortable with, and this is it's becoming as a huge trend. We are seeing the multi-generational, as I said. So in generation like myself, okay, maybe find a more comfort zone in the communicating with my peers and my colleagues through emails, while the new generation are becoming more comfortable with the using of the IM and the social network as the way or as the medium and the platform for communication and collaboration. We are seeing the rise of the cloud, and and I think this Gartner quote is not futuristic, because they are predicting that our current year, current calendar year, that 20% of businesses worldwide will own no IT assets. That means that they are outsourcing their IT operation to the cloud. And this is really interesting. So also another interesting trend is the anytime, anywhere. So we are seeing a lot of workforce labeled as the mobile workforce. They don't have a permanent offices or desks to go to, so they are on the road, or they are traveling. They are becoming more global employees. So for those, they have also special requirements when it comes to technology and solutions. So moving forward, and Ruba, I would just a side comment, Ruba. I'm not seeing the IM, so please, if there are anything urgent on the IM, please just stop me, and I'll be happy to answer. So when we come about education and academia, we are seeing it's not an exception. So the trends that we are noticing and experiencing in education with the universities and higher ed, that the IT are asked to offer technologies and solutions to meet the students and educators' needs. We are also witnessing the need for availing technologies and solutions to enable learning from anywhere. Okay, so this is again, this is related to the not only the e-learning in its types of whether synchronous or asynchronous types, but this is also we're seeing a major demand for that. IT in academia is not isolated or different than IT everywhere. So definitely budgets are being cut and squeezed, and we are always hearing our customers telling us that we need to do more with less, and this is again a major trend. Again, here we're seeing also the need for enterprise class software, technology, security and privacy are becoming a real major concerns, and especially with organizations dealing with students' information, students' records, and all of this, they require a large amount of privacy and security concerns. So, and again, the slide here I'm sharing with you, sharing quotes from, some or few of our customers, acknowledging how Microsoft are in solutions, whether on premises or on the cloud, are meeting those demands. Okay, the 4 pillars. And as we move forward, I think we will go back to those pillars and tackle each pillar with our specific offering of today, which is the Office 365. So Office 365 for education, again, it's about introducing the best-in-class productivity and collaboration. Okay, so those are the solutions that I'm gonna tap into. Are the outcome of decades of R&D and market reference, and with millions of customers worldwide. So when we're talking about the cloud offering for education, having evolved from an aggregation of consumer services, okay, that what we offered starting with the Life at EDU, and capitalizing on our as I said, enterprise class software. This is not a new program, Okay, for some of you, I think on this call, maybe they have experienced the Life at EDU program, and this is a program that we introduced, I think, more than 3 or 4 years back, the free cloud offering with email and communication platform for academia. And this program is currently transiting in most of countries in the Middle East and Africa to the Office 365. For any country which Office 365 is not available yet, so we will continue to support you with the Life at EDU. And as we move along, also we will see the differences between Life at EDU and Office 365. So again, I need to highlight in this slide about the importance of what we are bringing to the table here with Office 365. Again, this is not an email solution. This is a best-in-class productivity, collaboration, and communication. This is the platform that will allow the education institutes to have a unified communication through a product we will explore later called Link. We will enable doing the learning analytics, okay? Learning analytics, or in other terms, is referred to as the business intelligence. And the business intelligence solutions, we're enabling a platform that could integrate with your back-end products and databases, so that it can populate to the decision makers the right tools for reporting and for data supported decision making process. We are also providing a platform that could be the base or the core to have a learning management facility. And as I said, okay, it is not the platform for doing communication through emails. It's also to do collaboration, whether between faculty members, staff, and students to have their own projects there. This slide is, highlighting the workloads or the components comprising the Office 365 for education. So as mentioned earlier, so we're bringing the cloud version of our most trusted communication and collaboration products. Office, we will see different plans, okay, when we offer the subscription models for our customers, we will see different plans, okay. This is the all-up Office 365 plan, which is comprised of the famous desktop Office Professional or Office Pro Plus, the online version of Exchange, SharePoint, and Link. As I promised, as I said in the beginning, so we will be coming back to the 4 pillars, okay, which are the high demands from the academic institutes, and we'll see how the Office 365 is tackling each demand. So when we're talking about meeting students and educators' needs, we are offering for them, as I said, so the chance to license the Office desktop and integrate it with the with the cloud offering of SharePoint, Exchange Online. What that means that features like co-authoring and having multi-user instant authoring for documents in Word, in PowerPoint, and Excel. We are offering also the new feature of having presence. Okay, each user, okay, will be able to identify his or her presence status. whether available, free, busy, out of office, and the chance to write the proper out of office note if that's applicable. The sharing for the documents and the collaboration support, this is, I think you agree with me that this is a very critical demand when we're talking about group projects. As we move forward, okay, the SharePoint Online will give us, the chance to create. SharePoint is a very rich enterprise software. The online version will have a set of features. This, for example, only one application of the SharePoint Online is to have my site, and imagine this as my own portfolio. If I'm a professor or faculty staff or faculty member, okay, I can have my own site, having the room and the space to publish my own resume, my interests, my shared documents. So it's my own private repository, and with the options to share with others, whether a private group or to make it more public. So this is only one application of SharePoint Online. Another application, and this is what will be coming with the Office 365 for Education, that we will provide templates, academic-related templates, okay, so that schools, colleges, universities will be having out-of-box ready academic and university sites, and of course they will have the option and the facility to customize it according to their own needs. Another application, and very important, that will representing the communication part, is Link Online. And what you see in this slide is a sample of Link, and actually it doesn't need too much commenting, because this is the same software that we are using for this call right now, for this group call. We're having, I don't know what's the final number. The last number I checked was about 70 plus. And this will give you even the chance to go up to 250 people in video, audio conferencing, sharing your documents, your PowerPoint, and enabling multi-attendee. I can, I'm presenting now. My colleagues before me were presenting. So, this is the ultimate application for to have an online meeting or online conference. With the different applications of desktop and application sharing, a virtual whiteboard that I can, a professor can upload just maybe a white paper and use a tablet with a stylus to draw as if they are he or she having a virtual board. So this is a clear application of e-learning, online e-learning, a type of synchronous e-learning, with the ability to capture the record and to capture the lecture and record it. So students who are not able to join on the same time and date of this presentation, they can view it later from the university or college website. Another important thing is about the email. And email here, we're bringing the best-in-class email component, which is Exchange. And if you have Office Pro licensed, so you will have the chance to use Outlook. If not, you will be using the Outlook web app or OWA, and of course this is and this is, as I said, it's coming with the generous 25 gig as mailbox, and again there are the many advanced features for Exchange. One of them in this slide are highlighting the voicemail in audio or text format. So even if you missed a link call, okay, Exchange will be recording, and you will have your own voicemail coming along. So with the email, with the calendar, again, this is a very important feature. The calendar and the contacts. And maybe one thing to mention here, that you can have the university or the college public calendar, and you can have your private calendar, and you can have the option to share your calendar with others, with your peers or colleagues, and you can be invited to view other colleagues' calendar as well. So everything is integrated seamlessly in the platform, in the Office 365 platform. Again, moving forward, we understand that this is the platform in academia as in everywhere else. There is multiple applications and multiple browsers from different technologies, from different vendors. So we make sure that our technologies and our offering is compatible with other browsers as well. And here is an example for you. Okay, mobility is something very important. Okay, we're seeing like the abundance of smartphone devices, and we want to make sure the Office 365 also is accessible from your mobile devices, and we support the major mobile devices beside the Windows Phone. So again, this is it's not only we're enabling the mobile access, but we are enabling you also to edit your documents from your mobile headset as well. Okay, moving forward. Oops. I mentioned the importance of security and privacy, and this slides represent that. And so we want to make sure that our service is reliable, and that's why Office 365 comes with backed with the SLA guaranteeing a 99.9 uptime commitment. Okay. The data is safeguarded with reliability and disaster recovery capabilities. There are geo-redundant data centers. Our data centers are in compliance with the industry standards, like the ISO 27001, the SAS 70 type 1, and so on and so forth. Another maybe something of very important to mention here. Okay, as I'm sharing just a few case studies and references, what distinguishes Microsoft from competition, that we give you the chance and the freedom to deploy the cloud on your own term, meaning you can be purely online to have your productivity, your communication and collaboration software on the cloud, on the public cloud hosted by Microsoft Public Cloud, or you can have everything on premises through a Microsoft private cloud, or you can have the best of the two worlds and implement a hybrid model between a private and public. And those three examples and through three references represent the different three models. So there is, I can say it with confidence that there is no other vendor or technology vendor that would enable you to deploy the cloud on your own terms, between on-premises, on the cloud, or hybrid. Again, what's differentiate Microsoft is the the continuous improvement, and what's more important, in my humble view, is the clear roadmap. So we have 12 to 18 months a clear roadmap that we share with our partners and customers, sometimes in public and sometimes under NDA. And this is very important for the decision makers to enable them to do a long time planning. Okay, I've been told I have another 9 minutes. I think I'm coming to a close soon. So thank you, Roba. Again, we listen to the field. We listen to our partners. We really appreciate and always look forward for our customers' feedback. And this is, we integrate the feedback in our cycle of improvements and quarterly updates. So, to recap, again, and to remind you, the Office 365 is presenting you with the following workloads: Exchange Online, Link Online, SharePoint Online. This slide is listing all the big, the high-level features and functionality that you get with each product. And of course, they are all integrated under one platform with the following capabilities related to the user interface, role-based access. Okay, so definitely you will have an IT admin that will have different privileges than a faculty member or a student, or we even allow for certain roles like the alumni, like the college's alumni, to have access to the SharePoint as an extranet users. I mentioned the beginning is the life at the Office 365 is the upgrade for life at EDU, and this is just a reminder, okay, between what life at EDU and the transition to Office 365. Now, if you have a life at EDU, so you and your students will maintain to have access to their SkyDrive, to the Windows Live modules, and but they will be will be self-managed. The organization-wide managed or the IT managed will be a transition to the Office 365, and this is what we see on the left side of this slide. I mentioned that Office 365 for Education coming with different plans. What's important, and something that we are proud of, that we maintain the free offering. Okay, the free offering that we used to have with Life at EDU is maintained. Okay, with Plan A2. And actually, Plan A2 is coming with more features, more functionality. As I said, so we have now SharePoint, we have Link, and so the A2 plan is giving us the Office web apps which is accessing the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote companion, the online companion version of those of this software through SharePoint Online, and this is what the feature that we refer to as Office Web Apps. So, and we have the IM, the instant messaging and presence. We have the SharePoint Online collaboration through the My site, through the class site, and so on. We have the conferencing through a link, and we have the exchange with email, the calendar, and built-in free antivirus and anti-spam with personal archive. Now, understanding that we have, customers that would like to utilize more features, so we are introducing the A3 and A4 again with a very huge discounted pricing for academia, and as you see from this slide. So this is the Office 365 tour. I would like to end again emphasizing about what one of the main differentiator for Microsoft is the privacy and security. Yes, we do host your data. We don't access your data for any other reason, just that hosting it in our secured platform to offer you the service. I would really recommend you to visit this website, trust.office365.com, to have more details about the security concerns and how Microsoft is tackling them. For more details, please visit office365.com. And also to understand why Microsoft, why Office 365, just visit this website, whymicrosoft.com, and you will be able to get more replies and get more insights about why Office 365, why Microsoft Cloud. With this, I come to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much, and I don't know if we have time to take a couple of questions here. Ruba?
Thank you, Ammar. Please, attendees, any question?
You can just unmute yourself from the mic
Please
icon.
write on the communicator any questions, please.
Okay.
Thank you, Ammar. Thank you so much.
Thank
Any
you.
questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Please go ahead.
Please.
Yeah, if the university is using Plan 2, can an individual student use Plan A3, for example?
It's a great question. Yes, we do have the flexibility from a licensing perspective to do a mix and match. Like, not the whole university can go or must go to one plan for everyone. No, you can mix and match. For example, you want to have the students on A3, not maybe all the students, a group of students on A3, and you want to have the professors or the faculty members on A4. So the answer is yes. You can mix and match from the different SKUs.
Okay, related question. If a student wants to go to Plan A3, does he have to go to the university, IT department, for example, or what?
Yes, this is the licensing has to go through the university, okay, because this is an org-wide licensing, and so it's not an individual plan. So it has to be, as I said, organizational-wide licensing agreement.
Okay. I have another question if you do have plenty of time.
Okay, go ahead quickly, please.
Yeah. Okay. If a university, for example, I am from Yemen, if a university wants to subscribe in this Plan A2, how do they communicate with you? What's the steps? Give me a website, for example. Or
Okay, I'm afraid for Yemen, Office 365 is not ready yet, but you can check the live at edu, okay? Because the live at edu will give you at least the email part of the Office 365, and you will be able to use Office web apps through SkyDrive. So just go to Microsoft.com/live. I will write it on the IM at edu.
okay, thank you very much.
A question, please.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Samak. Tafadhal.
Okay.
Yes, please.
I want to ask about the licensing. I'm a university in Lebanon,
Okay.
and for example, I have 4,000 students.
Okay.
So, since it's a part of the school agreement, I think,
Yes.
so we have to pay it through our school agreement, right?
If you pick to go for A3, but A2 is free. Okay.
No, I want the A3. I'm talking about the
Okay.
plan.
Okay. Okay.
So let's say I have 4,000 students, for example, and
Okay.
in a year I have 1,000 students graduating.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. After graduation, can they keep their account, their plan C account, or not? And will I pay? And will I pay more licenses or not?
Okay, so this is a subscription model. So as long as they are using, the university has to pay. But for alumni, there is a special case, okay, and there is a special procedure for alumni. Okay, we can discuss later offline. But again, unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, Office 365 is not ready for Lebanon yet. Okay, so we have to go with Live at EDU for now.
Yes, I know, but just a question, okay? When it's ready, it's ready. When it will be ready, I want to know how will it be ready for Lebanon and which terms can be implemented. So as university, I will pay 4,000 licenses as much as I have the students.
Exactly.
But for them, after graduation, it's another problem. It's another issue, right?
Yes, because you want to, maybe this is up to you. You want to maintain the 4,000 for the newcomers, okay? For alumni, it will be another arrangement for alumni.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no worries. Yes, Saudi Arabia, inshallah, will be ready. Saudi Arabia. I have to mention that we are expecting a worldwide announcement hopefully by end of this month, inshallah. Okay. So I can't reveal now the countries, but I mean just for the sake of time and because I have colleague waiting. End of this month. Inshallah, there will be a worldwide announcement about Office 365 for education. Okay? Thank you. So back to you, Ruba.
Can we have a copy of your presentation, please?
Sure. I will send to Ruba and.
Yes, I will send. Yes, I will send the presentation.
Okay. Great, Amna.
There would be a recorded session on YouTube, and the deck would be available as well. We will send an email shot for all attendees, guiding them to the link how to get it. Okay, Amintas? Hello?
Okay, so the next speaker
would be Darren.
The next speaker, yeah.
Darren, yeah.
Darren, yes. Darren, are you ready?
Yep, I am. Just a second.
Okay, your slides, please.
Sure. Just a second. I am on the way uploading it. Okay. So I guess everyone has a slide on the screen, right? You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. We will have a 30-minute short session about Windows 8 and the Metro application development for the Metro UI, the new UI that we have with Windows 8, the UI that targets the Metro applications. So let me go very fast because the time is short. I don't want to do a long introduction here, but my name is Darren Yandam, and I work in a company in US called Identimine, and I do help the operations in Middle East and Africa region. We do a lot of Windows 8 stuff, Windows Phone apps. We do a lot of them on the marketplace already published, and we do Xbox work, we do Kinect work, and so on. So we do have a lot of amazing stuff going on there. And in this session, I'm going to focus mainly, obviously, on Windows 8. Let me skip the slides very fast. This first slide is very important. This first slide is like kind of a list of items that you need to focus when you build an app for Windows 8. The first one is the application needs to be fast and fluid, which means the application needs to be responsive, it needs to be alive, and it needs to look beautiful. That's the most important part, maybe. And if you look at from the technical perspective from this particular item, being responsive means writing some multi-threaded code. Windows 8, the runtime that we have on Windows 8, that we're gonna dive deeper a little bit in the architecture in the next slides, but the runtime helps us there because I know that not everyone likes really multi-threaded programming because it has a lot of, it's not easy, it's difficult, so you need to manage the threads on your own, or you need to handle the data synchronization between these threads, and it's not easy. So there's this thing called asynchronous programming, which is inside the Windows 8 runtimes. The runtime that we call Windows runtime. So it's already there, so that makes really very easy for end developers, let's say, very easy for them to build really responsive and fast and fluid apps. So that's one thing which is very, very important. We don't want to see apps that hang around, and we want to provide a fluid user experience to the end user, and that's very important. If we can check this item, and we're good to go to the second one. The second one is immersive and full screen. Focus attention on your apps and your content, actually. That's important as well. When you design a Metro app, all the comments are tied to gestures or keyboard shortcuts or mouse gestures maybe. But what we do is we focus on the content. What we try to show in an app on the main screen, we want to leverage the content and push it forward. And all the apps that we develop for the Windows 8 Metro UI are full screen apps, so you got the full real estate there. And you just need to push your content. We got templates about how to design apps full screen and try to get the focus into your content. We got templates for all this stuff, and we're going to go through very fast in Visual Studio as well at the end of this session. The third item is touch first with full keyboard and mouse. Enable your choice of interaction, which means, Windows 8 is really focused on both desktop and on tablet. That's just one operating system which works on both of these hardware platforms. That means a Windows 8 Metro UI app can be used by a keyboard, by a physical keyboard and mouse, and by only touch as well. If the end user, if the customer has just a tablet and no keyboard and mouse with the tablet, then the end user will use your app with all touch gestures. But if the user has Windows 8 installed on a desktop PC, in that case, maybe there is no touch hardware, but this time we got the full keyboard and mouse. And whatever you see on the Metro UI interface, all the items, all the interface items, you will see that they're all improved in a way that they respond to both physical hardware, like keyboard and mouse, the kind of old-fashioned way of interacting with the PC, or the new touch interactivity. And the apps that you build need to focus both of these interaction methods as well. You cannot really have an app that works only with touch or only with keyboard and the mouse. That doesn't really make sense because whatever you got on Windows 8 tablet UI, the Metro UI, you will need to know that it will be published on the marketplace where people can download it, and these people can have touch hardware or try to use your software with a keyboard and a mouse. So that means, in short, the platform is targeting both of these different types of users on different platforms right now. So the fourth item is web of apps working together. Apps are connected to each other in the cloud. So there are two types of connections in this item. The first one is the cloud connection. Everything needs to be synchronized, and we expect users to be online. So instead of using the local power and draining the battery life of the local hardware, we push it to the cloud, and we leverage what we got in the cloud as much as we can. And the second item about connectivity is connecting to the operating system, and through the operating system connecting to the other apps and integrating into the operating system. That's very important. There are a couple of items there. We call them contracts. You can use contracts to integrate with other apps. Let me give you a very short example there. Let's imagine you got this application which stores kind of a list of images, my albums and galleries, something like that. So in that case, my application can define itself as an image source to the operating system. That means another app who needs an image be able to hook up that image source, which will be handled actually through my original application. So without both of these two apps, without knowing each other, they will be able to talk to each other through the operating system, being kind of the proxy, the middleman between these two apps, and that will provide us a very secure way of integrating multiple applications together. Instead of your app getting in touch directly with another app, the operating system will be the middleman. That improves the security, that improves the standardization of the connectivity, and that really gives us a way to connect all these different apps on the marketplace that comes obviously from different vendors. So that's the fourth item, which is very, very important while you start building a Windows 8 Metro application. And finally, the experience for all PC devices and architectures, no compromise across new form factors and desktops and laptops. That's actually the point we try to emphasize on the third item. There will be hundreds of different tablets on the ecosystem coming from different vendors. When Windows 8 gets released, there will be, we already have a lot of different laptops as well. They all have different resolutions. They all have different kind of set of hardwares. So thanks to the operating system, Windows 8, all these hardwares are kind of proxied or encapsulated. So we don't, at some point, at some distance, we don't need to care about what kind of an hardware we have there. But on the other hand, we need to make sure that our UI can scale fluidly. That's important, a scalable UI, because specifically the resolution can be changed from device to device. What we do there as a solution is we can have an vectoral design, which means everything we got on the screen is defined by mathematical calculations, let's say. So in that case, the particular hardware will be able to render the right resolution material on its own. And the second choice is if you want to push some image-based, bitmap-based content, and in that case, we got a set of different DPIs, resolutions that you will need to provide inside your app so that the operating system will be able to pick the appropriate image and the assets on its own. That's already implemented inside Windows 8 runtime, so we do not need to do stuff like detecting what kind of a resolution is there, what kind of an dust per inch settings is there, and do the image asset matching on your own. You don't need to do that. You just put them inside your package, and the runtime will do it on its own. So these are the 5 items that we need to be very, very careful about while building Windows 8 apps. And if I could suggest actually you all print this slide on a paper and put it on your table maybe, because if you are building a Windows 8 app and you go through this list and you are able to check every item in this list, it looks like you already have a very good application going on. I guess, by the way, I have a couple of questions down there, so let me try to go through them. Does Windows 8 handle different screen resolutions automatically? Yes, it does. Like on phones with different screen sizes and resolutions and tablet plus the PCs as well. Yes, the operating system handles different screen resolutions on its own. It's like actually, if you would talk about a tablet, it's like actually a desktop PC. I mean, the way that you are used to use a desktop PC in the mean of resolution, that will be exactly the same on the tablet as well. So the tablet will have its own native resolution, and the application which is published will be scaled into that resolution transparently. You don't need to do anything about that. The two things that you need to be careful about, like I said, the first one is if you are looking for a scalable app, you need to define everything with curl so that when it scales, you don't get distorted or something. You're going to get pixelated. Everything will look still crisp and clear. And the second choice is we got a list of resolutions, and if you have a kind of bitmap or an asset in your application, you will need to provide your image in 3 or 4, actually it's 3, in 3 different resolutions and put it inside the package. The Windows 8 runtime will pick the appropriate image according to the machines, that particular machine's hardware and resolution automatically, so you don't need to do that on your own. Another question, which is not exactly related to Metro development, but still I want to answer this. Does Windows 8 support Hyper-V? Obviously, yeah, sure. Virtualization is still there. That's still a full-blown operating system. But here's the important thing that we didn't discuss actually, and I'm not gonna focus on that much. But see, maybe you have heard about that. We will have 2 types of different architectures in the mean of hardware. That means the first one is the ARM. And the second one is Intel. So until today, we're used to Intel because that was the only architecture that Windows could run. But from starting Windows 8, the Windows operating system is able to run on an ARM architecture as well. Actually, that's not exactly called Windows 8. That's called Windows RT. I'm not sure if the marketing name will change at the end of the day because the product is not yet finalized and is not in the market. What we are talking about at the moment is the consumer preview or the release preview. Anyways, back to the topic. So what I was saying is we got this ARM and Intel hardwares together. What we're talking today is specifically about the Intel-based Windows 8. On the ARM Windows 8, I'm not sure what kind of an Hyper-V is supported there, or is it somehow. I don't think that will be there. I don't think you will be able to virtualize an operating system on top of an ARM-based Windows 8, but still that's just a personal idea that I share with you. I'm not sure about that answer, so maybe we should wait about the release and we gotta see what's gonna happen. Yeah, obviously it has the client side Hyper-V. It's not an Hyper-V server or something, so for that one you will need to get a Windows Server 2008 or the next version. Another question is, when will be the Windows 8 be released in the Middle East? As far as I know, it will be released at the same time as the rest of the world, so there's nothing like it will be released here and there in different times. About the marketplace, again, I'm not sure. One of the things that I didn't maybe emphasize at the beginning of the slide deck, I'm not working at Microsoft. Actually, I remember I told already that I'm working in a company in the US which is called MEA. So I'm not working at Microsoft, so I'm not really in sync of the release dates there. Maybe at the end of this session we can have someone from Microsoft who can answer these kind of scheduling questions. At the moment I am on the Windows 8 experience slide. Okay, let me go on. So what are the key investments that Microsoft did in this new platform? And these are the 4 items that we have. These are huge investments that Microsoft did about Windows 8. The first one is the new Windows runtime. The Windows runtime is a runtime that we write with our code on and that our code runs. As you would guess, this is something new. This is not like the .NET framework. We still have .NET framework, but .NET framework runs only on desktop, not on the Metro UI. The new start screen, the apps that you're gonna build for the new start screen needs to target the Windows runtime, this new runtime. Even though we say new, Actually, what you're going to see is that the stuff that you know still runs on Windows runtime. It's like the same C# and kind of the same XAML that will run. So if you are already used to C# and .NET or VB development and a little bit of WPF or Silverlight, you will see that like 90% of the know-how that you have is something that you can transfer very easily to Windows runtime as well. And the second biggest investment was the new user experience. As you will see through the demos, the whole stack of UI has changed. The desktop is still kind of the same, but the new Metro UI is something that Microsoft built from scratch, and that kind of defines a new style of user experience, I could say. It's not something that we would see in any of the other competitors' platforms. That's totally different, and that was a huge investment that Microsoft did from a design perspective of the operating system. The third item is the new app execution environment. That's very important to understand. Every Metro UI application runs on its own isolated execution environment. That means normally applications are not able to access the file system directly. They're not able to access registry settings or stuff like that you could imagine on a desktop environment. So every application is again isolated into its own execution environment. The only way that you can go out of this execution environment is through the Windows Runtime API calls, is through some contracts to be able to talk to other applications. And in order to access the file system, actually there are a set of folders like My Pictures, My Videos folders that you can access if you get the permission from Windows Runtime. That's something we're going to talk as well. But besides this, I mean, you will not be able to access something like C:// and let's put a file there. This will not be happening. The whole environment is targeting the secure execution, so every app is isolated from each other, but having different ways to talk to each other, which goes through the operating system, kind of being, like we said in the second slide, being the middleman, the operating system being the middleman, and who takes care of the security between these communications throughout apps. And the fourth item, the fourth huge investment that Microsoft did was the Windows Store. That's kind of a whole different story changer, because the Windows Store, as far as I know, as far as I can imagine, will be the biggest online app store that you will ever see. It's not like an iPhone or an iPad or something, because this is Windows we're talking about. You know how many people use Windows, and millions of people will install the first time that Windows 8 goes in the market. So it will be like the application that you built. Everyone that you see and you know on this world that uses Windows will be able to buy it. So that's a huge marketplace where you can sell your software. That's a very important aspect of this whole investment. And Microsoft did a huge investment in Windows Store as well. And that's very important to understand that the Windows Store, the huge audience of the Windows Store, is far more different than whatever we see and we saw until today. Okay, so let's look at the platform as well. But before that, I want to comment on a comment that we got on the chat actually. So Motasim, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, says, I feel that Windows 8 is very similar to Windows Phone 7. Yes, exactly. I mean, from the app execution environment perspective and the API side, yes, it looks very similar. And from the UI perspective as well, it looks very similar to Windows Phone 7. If you have experience with Windows Phone 7, I'm sure it will be like crazy easy for you to jump over to Windows 8. The runtime is not exactly the same, but again, I mean, that doesn't change anything. It's like you will just need to learn another 5% stack of APIs and you are good to go. Okay, here's another comment that I want to discuss. WinRT doesn't support XNA or Silverlight. WinRT doesn't support XNA, but WinRT supports DirectX and C++, so you should be able to go with that. WinRT doesn't support Silverlight. That's a very important sentence that we need to discuss, because that can be misunderstood. WinRT on its own is XAML and C#, so it doesn't need to support Silverlight anyway. It is on its own XAML and C#. That's the same thing that we got in Silverlight. I could simply say that the changes that you see when you were developing a Silverlight application for the web and you jumped over to Windows Phone, it will be kind of the same set of changes you will experience when you jump over from Silverlight to Windows 8 Metro development or from Windows Phone to Windows 8 Metro development. It's like the platform that you work is a little bit changing and the APIs will change a little bit, but the rest is like 95% of what you know from Silverlight is still applicable and it's the same thing. But the important point here, if you're talking about the Silverlight as a plugin inside the browser, yes, it will not work on the browser that you got on the Metro UI, but it will work on the browser that you got on the desktop. So there is no problem about that. Okay, I'm going through the comments that you guys are writing in the chat. Okay. Final tablet platform. Windows is based on bridging between the new Microsoft platforms. Okay, that's a nice comment. Okay, you're writing so fast, guys. I'm losing track here. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about Hyper-V anymore. I'm sorry about that. So first, I'm not an expert on that. Second, it's not our topic. What is the shortest path of mastering developing for Metro style apps? The shortest path is, currently if you go on Amazon or try to buy a book about Windows 8, it will be hard because the product is not there and no one is an expert about this and no one even maybe finished a book about this. So if you're planning to target Windows 8, first consume all the resources that you find online. Okay, there is a training kit, there are a lot of resources. Consume all of that. Second, if you want to invest more before Windows 8 is released, I could say invest on Windows Phone, okay, because that will help you, and invest on Silverlight or WPF. Actually, I would prefer Silverlight because it's a much lightweight and it kind of fits more on the Windows 8 story. So you can invest on this. The Windows 8 tablet, yes, it will run Windows 8 tablet apps, all the Metro apps, obviously.
Okay. Darren, may I remind you we have 15 minutes or less, 15 minutes to go, and you still have 10 slides. So for the sake of time, please.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
So we got the Windows Core operating system services in the slide that you see. Let's go through the architecture a little bit. We got all the desktop apps, the C, C++, Win32 runs there, C#, VB, .NET, Silverlight, whatever you know about desktop will still run there. We got HTML, JavaScript runs inside Internet Explorer or any kind of browser you have. So that's the kind of story that we have currently and that is still applicable. I wouldn't like to call it old because it's not old. Better we call it mature. These are the mature platforms that we had for years, and this will still run on a Windows 8 machine. The second and the new platform that we have is called Windows Runtime APIs. Inside Windows Runtime APIs, we got a stack of different components, different parts of the runtime, obviously, that helps us communicating with the external networks, communicating with the local hardware, the graphics chipset, and all the devices, and the printing, and all that stuff. And underneath, we got the application model. On top of the Windows Runtime APIs, what we do is we start developing apps with XAML, C#, VB, or C++. It's actually an interesting thing having C++ behind XAML. When we go with this approach, we define the UI with the XAML markup language, and on the back end, we write all our client-side code with C#, VB, C++, or C. The second option that we have is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's very important to understand that the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, it is clear for this diagram as well, but still, the JavaScript that we see and the C# that we see on this diagram means that JavaScript and C# and VB, they're all at the same distance to the Windows Runtime APIs. This is very important because today, if you build a C# app, you are actually connecting to the kernel services through the .NET framework, which is something that you install on that machine and you are sure that it performs very good because it's coming from Microsoft and so on. But if you build an HTML and JavaScript app today on the desktop, you are much more tied to the performance of the browser, what kind of a browser you use. If you use Internet Explorer, you got some kind of a different engine. If you use an Opera Safari or something, you got a different engine. And whatever the code that you write is dependent to the performance of the runtime of the engine of the browser you have. In this case, with the Metro UI, it's not there. We don't have a browser. The HTML and JavaScript that runs on the Metro UI is exactly at the same distance as C# to the Windows Runtime APIs, which means HTML and JavaScript development is a native development environment for Windows 8 Metro apps. So you can go ahead with that. When you call an Windows Runtime API from JavaScript, you are actually at the same distance as C#. That means you are at the same distance to the kernel as a C# developer, as a JavaScript developer. So that's very, very important. And finally, all this stack of tools, we call them Metro style apps, and these are the tools that we're going to use to develop Metro apps. When we go with C# and HTML, like I said, we got C++ and an app. They connect directly to the kernel projection, to the Windows runtime. Underneath C# and VB, we still have the CLR, the common language runtime, like we had in .NET Framework. In an HTML app, we got the Chakra, which connects to projection. And all these apps, they go through a broker, which is actually on the next slide, not this one, but the next one. This one actually defines simply what kind of a package do we deploy to the Windows 8 marketplace. What we do is we got our files and assets. We got a manifest file which defines what kind of an hardware access we're going to use. And that manifest file, including the files and assets, gets signed with a signature and then packaged inside a zip file, which has an extension called appx. And that will be the file that you're going to push to the marketplace. This is kind of the executable file of your application. Okay, this is like the executable file that you got on a simple desktop app. Yeah, like we said, the app manifest defines the capabilities of the application. If you want to use the microphone, you will need to define it in the manifest file. If you want to use the GPS location, again, that's something you will need to define in the manifest file. That will let you connect to the kernel services that you're going to use for the GPS or for microphone and all the other services. If you don't define the capabilities inside the manifest file, you will not be able to call these kernel services. That's the problem. So that's very important to define the manifest file the right way. You will remember that on the first slide we talked about how application talks to each other. And the process isolation, kind of the isolated execution environment that we have. So in this slide we see two different processes. They want to talk to each other. Actually, they define contracts. Like we said at the beginning, the process 2 can be like an application that outputs a set of images, being an image source. The process 1 can consume them through the contracts, and these contracts are managed by the operating system. The second communication happens through the process and the operating system, to the hardware. If an application, if a process wants to call an hardware-specific API, it needs to go through the brokers. So there are a set of APIs that talk to the kernel directly, that don't go through an additional security check. Like if you want to draw an image on the screen, you want to talk to the hardware, to the GPU, and you don't need to go through an additional broker for that. But if you want to talk to the GPS location sensors, then you will need to go through the broker. And that's actually the broker who checks if the manifest file has the capabilities defined. If the particular capability is not defined in the manifest file, then the broker will not let the application to speak to that particular APIs that your operating system hosts. Actually, even if you define the capabilities in the application manifest file and you are able to go to the broker for a lot of hardware access APIs, still the operating system pops up an additional UI and asks for the end user to approve the action. Like you're going to access the GPS location first, you define the capability in manifest file, so the broker gives you a way, and you are able to talk to the operating system APIs, but then the operating system will just pop up an additional dialog and will ask the user if the user approves that the particular application can access the GPS data. If the user approves, then you're good to go. It's kind of, you've got two levels of security checks there. The first one is the broker, and the second one is the end user. And one of the final things that we need to understand very clearly is the application lifecycle. So on Windows 8, you can have multiple applications running, but if you I mean, if you switch between apps and another app is in the background, then it's totally up to the operating system to take it into a sleep state and then suspend the state. So that's the operating system who decides if an application will be suspended or not. We really don't know if it will be or not. But in the case that the operating system decides to have an application suspended, the operating system should know about that. So at that point, you will be able to save some state data that you got on the screen maybe. But be careful here. The save state, saving the state shouldn't be something online. I mean, because an online request, even if you have a very, very fast connection, can be problematic if the suspension, during the suspension, you can't really accomplish and complete the transaction. So let's say you are trying to save something online, but the server at that point doesn't respond. The internet connectivity isn't that good, just for a second, but your application is getting suspended. So the operating system will not wait for you, and it will suspend your app, and then you will not be able to save that data. That's the problem. So usually what we suggest is to save it locally on the disk when you get suspended, so that when you get resumed, you will be able to load it. And the second problem is when you get suspended, you really don't know if you will be resumed or not, because after the suspension, if the end user doesn't still use your application and it keeps it suspended for a period of time, the operating system can decide on its own to kill that app. So in short, for us, actually, suspension means actually we're killed. Suspension means that I don't really know 100% that I'm going to resume or not. If I get resumed, I can load the state that I saved on the disk, but if I don't, I can still load it when I start from scratch as an app. So in short, suspension means you will need to save everything. You got just 5 seconds to handle the suspension. You can extend it up to 30 seconds, but that's it. That's all you got. So in the 30-second maximum time, you will need to do whatever you can do to save the state and the data that you have with you. Okay, so we got two set of storages. The first one is the app data, and the second one is the user data. So the user data is something that roams with the user, which is actually the next slide. You can save data into the local storage, and that will be synchronized throughout the machines that a particular user owns. So if I have 2 laptops, and if I have the same application deployed in these 2 laptops, I can save the storage data in a way that it will be roamed automatically on its own by Microsoft services. I need to do anything about that, and that's done. So if you set your data as a roaming data, then it will be synchronized throughout the environments that a particular user owns. Okay, so I just have a very, very, very short demo that I'm going to show you, just the tools and the stuff that we have. So let me jump over to desktop sharing if I can. Okay. I guess it's happening. You don't really need to be connected all the time, but as a developer, you will need to care of the online and offline scenarios. I guess someone has my control. I didn't give control, but someone is moving my mouse. Don't do it. That's strange. Okay. So, file, new, project. So I say file, new project, and here I got a Metro application option. As you see, Windows Metro style. I'm going to create a grid app. Grid and split applications. These are the 2 samples that we have with Windows. With Visual Studio 11. So that we can build these apps very fast. When I hit F5 at the moment, you will see an app already made. The design is there. The data is there. That's a dummy application with the data and everything. So you can start with this one if you want. It really helps to learn the environment. You can start designing this, making this a little bit much more beautiful, but all the Metro style rules are already applied inside this app, so that it will really make you easy to just start up with the platform. Let me go very fast back and show you where the data comes. In this application, we got a folder called data model. Inside the data model, we got a data source, a sample data source. And as you will see here, the data is here actually. The collection of items are here. So you can change the collection items here, start and hook up a web service. Just click add service reference and get the web service and start changing the collections, and you will be good to go. Obviously, there are a lot of additional stuff like the design and so on that you will need to do, but this is a really good starting point. And the second thing that I want to go through is the manifest file, because this is very, very important. When I double click the manifest file that I got in the Solution Explorer and go to the capabilities, here's the set of capabilities that you can request from the operating system. And if you don't click these items, if you don't check it, you will not be able to use it. Let me show you just one little example that I have in here. I guess it was in some of the folders in here. Here we go. This is just a little example how to hook up to the GPS data. Okay. So this application here, let me make this bigger. Okay. Defines a geolocator. Okay. Let's check the manifest file. I got the capability attached. Obviously, this will not work because I'm on a laptop and I don't really have a GPS sensor on my laptop. I define geolocator. I attach an event listener to the position changed. And finally, I call the get geoposition async. But as I said, this is a method that recovers in its click or changed event in another background thread. So to pass through that, I get a reference to my current window of dispatcher, okay? And from the dispatcher, I call invoke async. I give a CPU priority, and I get the position that is returned from the geolocator. After I get the position, I simply in this application as a beam map control, and I give the position to the beam map control to focus to that particular position. Let me run this. I'm not sure if it will work because, like I said, I don't have a GPS sensor in here. And this is, by the way, the emulator that we have. As you see, it just redirected me to somewhere really strange. Let me go out of the emulator. The emulator will help you emulate all the attached capabilities, but you can run the applications locally without the emulator as well if you do have a touch hardware. Let me go from simulator to local machine and hit F5. Here we go.
Daron?
Oh, I got an error in here. Yeah, you are exactly taking me at the right spot because I got an error. Okay, this is good. We need to finish up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
You need 1 minute, 2 minutes?
No, I'm okay. Actually, I'm done.
Okay.
Let me go back to my slide deck now. I guess we still have a couple of minutes for questions, right? Do we?
Yes, they can ask.
Okay,
Let's have
great.
5 minutes for Q&A. Any questions for Daron? Or you can answer the questions they already wrote.
Yes, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Darren, I'm using the Metro Style and Windows 8 apps over my Nokia telephone. I have some question regarding the applications. Some applications stop running when you hit the main menu button. We need some applications to continue running in the background and others to stop running. Okay? Hello?
Okay, I guess you are done with the question, right? Because there is a lot of background noise.
In Windows Phone, there's a lot of noise somewhere.
Yeah.
In Windows Mobile before, we used to click and hold one button and end the processes for applications that we don't want them to continue running in the background. This feature is not available with the new software. So, what is your answer?
Sure. So first of all, yes, there's a huge change between Windows Mobile and Windows Phone, and we need to embrace the changes. That's very important because so we know that Windows Mobile wasn't that successful, and that was a dead operating system at some point, and that's why Microsoft started with Windows Phone, and this time doing things the right way. So whatever that we are used to on Windows Mobile was maybe good for us developers at some point or from some perspective, but it wasn't, at the end, it wasn't good because it was a lost operating system which wasn't really chosen or used by a lot of customers. And at the end, if you're targeting solve the problems of the customers, we need to have an operating system which targets to do the same thing. So let me go to the technical side a little bit. Yes, on Windows Phone, you cannot, if an end user wants to close an app, it simply clicks the start button and the application is suspended. That's kind of the same thing at Windows 8. If you want to have a background worker, you can have it. There's this thing called background agents on Windows Phone. You can attach a background agent to your app, and when your app gets closed, your background agent can still work. There are obviously a list of limitations, like the background agent can run every 15 minutes only. It can't run faster. That's to save the battery life and all that end user experience. But yes, you can have a background worker, background agent. You can use push notifications to simulate a multitasked environment. I mean, the end user will still feel like the phone is doing multitasking, but actually you are pushing that task to the cloud and doing it in the cloud and pushing back a notification. The end user will feel like it's multitasking, but obviously it's not. But it's the only way to save the battery life and so on, the resources, the local resources, and provide the longest battery life. These are very important points for end users. I know that we would like and be happy if we had the real multitasking we had on Windows Mobile, but it will not be there.
No, yes, Darren. I can get back to the app and close it, or
was that a question? Because I guess we're breaking up. You can go back to the app and you can close it. There are tricks to do that on Windows Phone, but there is no official API that says application exit. The natural way of closing an app, you don't need to put a close button inside the app. The natural way of closing an app on Windows Phone is to click the start button. That's the way how the UI of the whole operating system UI is designed. So you should not put a close button into your app. What the end user needs to do is to learn to click the start button to close an app. Okay, I got another question written, so let me read that. Will you be sharing this demo app along with the slides? Sure, I can share the slides with Ruba, and I'm sure she will find a way to share it with you all. I guess someone is taking the recording of this session, so maybe that can help. The sample application that I just showed to you, yes, that's something, again, I can hand out to Ruba, and again, I'm sure she will handle that. And yeah, anything else? Okay, I guess that's all. That's all we have, right?
Yeah. Yes, I think so. Daryl, again, thanks a lot for your time and for an amazing presentation. The same applies for Isam and also Amar. Amazing. And again, thank you very much for all faculty and students who joined us today. It's amazing to see your interest about Windows 8 and also about Office 365. So as I mentioned before, that's the way we see the future. And at the end of the day, Microsoft is here to support anything that you'd like to develop or anything that you'd like to create on top of our platform. So I think now Ruba should, go for the final things, and we should provide the award for the ones who register for the event.
Yes,
Ruba should, and Ruba should also share with you Ruba and Amina to be open. Amina, I think, is going to provide you a link where you can give us feedback about this call, and it's very important that you tell us what you think we should improve or what is working well or not. So this way we can have a better call for you in the future.
Exactly, I mean, so thank you. So it's the reference time now. I will share with you my screen so that we can all see who's the winner for today. There are some noises. Will you please just mute your mic?
Suggestion, I think you can mute people's mic.
From my end?
Yeah, from your end.
Okay. First of all, I would like to share with you that someone is controlling my mouse. Okay. These are the names we have. As you can see, we have 175 participants who sent us their name and country. We immediately send them their IDs. Okay, those are the names. So it's 175. So let's go to the raffle tool. 175. Okay, the winner is 169. Hello?
Hi.
169. Hi. Who's this?
Majdi Shaltaf.
Majdi Shaltaf from Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah, 160. Ah, very true. Congratulations, Majdi. Majdi, by the way, is an ex-MSP with us.
Yeah, I
Okay,
was at the MSP last year.
Yes, will you please introduce yourself to other people who don't know you?
I am Majdi Shaltaf. I was the MSP at Microsoft Jordan at last year. I am a student at Petra University.
Okay, congratulations to Majdi Shaltaf, Mabruk. Amintat, would you like to add anything?
Sorry, I was on mute. No, I think that's all. Again, thanks a lot for our speakers. Thanks a lot for all the attendees. And again, I hope that we will have a chance to repeat this kind of calls more and more in the next future. So again, thanks a lot, and have a good evening or night for everybody.
Exactly. Within a few minutes, all of you will receive an email from the MEA Academic Support Center for the evaluation and feedback. Also, your suggestions are more than welcome. Thank you, everybody, and Mabruk Shaltaf.